All right, everyone. Today we're going to be talking about how I am using Bitcoin options to make a 2 to 3% monthly Bitcoin yield. All right. This strategy there's a lot of negatives, there's not a lot of positives about it. The main thing is to be able to do the strategy, a person will need high net worth or a lot of accumulated savings. You need to have access to the options market. You need to have a high risk tolerance, and you want to have the desire to make income. All right. The negatives of this strategy is that it will not outperform a long-term explosive bull market. So if stocks or crypto is going up like crazy, this will actually cap your gains. And if there's a crash, you will also get most of the downside. So you're capping your upside and you get almost all the downside. But the positives of this strategy is that during sideways movements, even volatile sideways, when the price isn't really going anywhere, when it's consolidating, you will actually outperform a sideways market and you'll be receiving income from it. This is something I've been doing for a long time. As you can see, I got my Brazil shirt because I'm in Brazil right now. Been here for 3 months. Pretty much going anywhere I want in the world. I've been traveling like 9 months out of the year for a few years now because I'm able to make this passive income, just like my money making money for me. All right, but one thing you should know is this strategy is not when you have thousands of dollars and you're trying to make hundreds of thousands or millions. This strategy is for people who have hundreds of thousands or who have millions, and they're using that as collateral to make an extra thousands or tens of thousands per month. Okay, the way this works is you want the stock or crypto, in this case Bitcoin, to not go up or down. This is a very subtle difference when it doesn't go up or down versus normal buying and selling when you do want the stock to go up or down to buy and sell. This strategy also requires some timing and active management. It is pretty forgiving, but the timing, like selling puts during dips or selling calls when it pumps, can dramatically change your returns over time. The ETF with the best liquidity, the best bid-ask spread is IBIT, I-B-I-T. This is the one I use, and it's about 1 Bitcoin equals 1,760 shares of IBIT. So during this video, I'll be referencing both for clarity. Let's go take a look at my positions right here. As you can see, I'm not going to show you my amounts, but I will show you the cost averages and the percentage return. So I do have IBIT shares at 61.07 average. I have sold a 64 call that expires on June 30th for $1.02 per share. I have sold a 61 put that expires July 3rd for $1.91 per share. And I've sold a 60 put that expires July 18th for $2.33 per share. Now let's talk about them individually. Let's start with the 64 call. So this covered call means if IBIT goes past 64 by June 30th, I will have to sell my IBIT shares for $64 each. Now, with the premium of $1.02, it's actually 65.02. So I'll have to sell my shares at 65.02 even though I bought them at 61. All right, and with Bitcoin, that basically becomes if Bitcoin goes past $114,000 and like 114,400 or so. All right, so anything past that, I won't be getting any more gains for that covered call for the shares. But ideally, what I want to happen is that Bitcoin doesn't go past that price, and I will be able to buy those calls back for $0. So I sold them for $102, and I'll be buying them back for $0. The way I can lose, and losing is subjective, but basically any amount that Bitcoin goes past $115,000, I won't be getting those gains anymore. So losing would be more the losing of opportunity cost, where if I didn't sell that call option, then I would have made more money. But really, I'm not losing, I'm actually still gaining, because I'll be making profit on the shares because I bought them at 61 and I'm selling them for 65. So losing is still winning, just not as much. So I sold these calls on June 6th, 2025. That gives it about 24 days to expire. Let me do the math for you. So to find the basically what I call the effective or estimated annual percentage yield, you're going to take the price of the contract, which is $1.02, divide it by the cost of the shares that you purchase, which in my case is 6,100. So 102 divided by 6,100, and then you're going to multiply that by the amount of days left for expiry and divide that by the amount of days in a year. So that's 24 divided by 365. All right, so that's 102 divided by 6,100 times 24 divided by 365, and you multiply that by 100, and you get the annual percentage yield, the effective annual percentage yield of about 24.5%. So that means if I was able to do this every 24 days for the entire year, I would make an effective annual percentage yield of 24.5% by using my Bitcoin. So if I did that with one full Bitcoin, I would make 0.245 Bitcoin per year if I used one Bitcoin to do that, and they always expired worthless every time. So let's talk about my put contracts. So let's show you the picture again. You can see from my put contracts, they're actually down because these prices are as of Friday, June 13th close, and Bitcoin took a dip that day, so my puts are actually down. That means if I was to buy the contracts back right now, I would have a loss. All right? Put contracts work the exact opposite way of calls, where the 61 put and the 60 put here, I agreed to buy the shares of IBIT for 61 and $60 per share on July 3rd and July 18th. All right, let's just focus on one contract for now, the 61 put for July 3rd that I got paid $191 for per contract. So the average cost for Bitcoin is going to be around $104,500 because IBIT has to go to about $59.09. Okay, that's when I start to lose money. If IBIT goes below $59.09 before July 3rd, I will start to lose money because I agreed to buy it at $59.09. If it doesn't go to $59.09, I could buy the contract back for a profit. If it doesn't get to $61, then the contract will expire worthless. Okay, so the math with those is going to be, I got $191 per contract, and I used $6,100 for collateral, and there's 24 days left for expiry. There's 365 days per year, so that's 191 divided by 6,100 times 365 divided by 24, and that gives me around a 47%, almost 48% estimated annual percentage yield. For the 60 put, since there's more time available for the contract, we're going to do the math as 233, that's the premium, divided by $6,000 times 365 divided by 38 days, and that gives me about a 37% annual percentage yield. So let's talk about the loss potential, because we're talking about the gain potential for a little bit. Now let's talk about the potential losses. So once Bitcoin starts going below $101,500, the loss potential starts getting pretty high. If you have 3 of those contracts, once Bitcoin starts going below 101,500, you're going to start to lose $3 for every penny that IBIT goes down. Okay, so if Bitcoin does go to like $90,000 in June, you're going to be losing a total of around $2,300, $2,400. I'll put the math right here so you can see. But yeah, the losses are going to be pretty excruciating. So yeah, and in general, technically, any stock or any crypto could just go to zero. So technically, the loss potential is your entire investment, except you will make the premium from the call option, because the call option is going to be expiring worthless. So yeah, so basically in conclusion, with this strategy of writing calls, covered calls, and writing cash secured puts on IBIT, I am making about 0.25 to half a Bitcoin per year per Bitcoin that I'm doing this on. And there's a fair bit of risk, guys. There's a fair bit of risk, but I'm able to endure this risk. I'm able to stomach it because I've been in Bitcoin for a while, and I've seen it go up and down 70%, still goes up higher, down 80%, still goes up higher. So for me, this strategy works because Bitcoin is consistently going up over time. So all I have to do is stomach some of the losses sometimes and just wait, and it'll eventually recover. If Bitcoin ever does continuously go down and never come back up, you're gonna be taking a lot of losses with this strategy. So it's not free money, guys. Some people call this free money. I disagree, because there is a risk. You've already seen my put contracts are down. So there's a risk of losses. The reason these contracts and this estimated annual percentage yield is so high is because the risk is priced into the contracts, and you can lose. So don't think this is free money. The minimum you'll need to get started with this strategy with IBIT is around $6,000 plus minus a few $100, but basically $6,000 to either buy 100 shares or write one put contract. And this scales up all the way to millions of dollars. Once you're using like tens of millions, hundreds of millions, maybe billions, that's when you're going to start to run into liquidity issues, and it might not be as viable with that type of money. Also, the options market is only open during normal stock market hours, which is 9:30 a.m. to I think 4 p.m. Monday through Friday. That's Eastern time, and you can, during those hours, you can actually buy and sell your contracts back at any time. So you don't have to wait all the way to where the contract expires. If you get a good return like a week before, 2 weeks before, you can buy the contract back for a profit. You don't have to wait. Also, there is early assignment risk. So even if the contract expires next month, someone or some entity can decide they want to exercise that contract, and you'll have to either buy the shares or sell the shares way earlier than you expected. So just keep that in mind. Anyway, I posted a link to my Substack where I wrote all of this down. I think I wrote it down better than I explained it on video. So if you are interested, go check out my Substack where I posted all of the numbers, everything that I've said here in a more concise written way. And just like give me some feedback. Let me know if I explained this well. This is kind of mind-boggling for a lot of people. They don't really understand it. I have engineer friends, I have lawyer friends, I have doctor friends that just look at me like I'm speaking Martian when I'm talking about this. So just give me some feedback, ask some questions in the comments, and I'll answer them the best I can to try to clarify and make this easier for you. So thanks everyone. I hope this video was useful for you, and good luck.